Hello, I'm Jannarone, Editor-in-Chief of Exec Edge here in Orlando, Florida at the 2024 ICR Conference. Very, very excited to be here with a company that I hold dear to my heart because I shop there. It's Neiman Marcus Group, and we have Geoffroy van Raemdonck, who's the CEO. Geoffroy, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So, Geoffroy, I told you just now that I was going to tell you a story. On my 30th birthday, I went to the Neiman Marcus in Dallas, and my mom got me a blazer, which I actually wore yesterday. It wasn't that long ago. And I was walking around Manhattan where I was working at the Wall Street Journal, and I get a phone call, this 817 number, and it's, "Sir, are you enjoying your jacket?" And that kind of personal touch is something I've never seen anywhere else I've ever shopped. Can you just tell us a bit about how you guys approach customer care and that sort of thing?
Well, if you think about Neiman Marcus Group, which includes Neiman Marcus and Bergdorf Goodman, it's really a luxury multi-brand retailer, and it's all about the experience. And so we have this differentiated business model. A key part of the differentiated business model is our sales associates. I believe luxury is a considered purchase, and you want support from someone to advise you. And so we have 1,100 sales associates who have a book of business of more than $1 million.
Wow.
And they build deep relationships. And then we have many more sales associates. And so when you talk about that experience, that is at the core of what we do. We help you in the moment, and we help you post-purchase. We've actually equipped our sales associate with tools that allow them to scale that reach. And if you look at our Q1, which is a Q3 calendar, we had 23% of our sales at Neiman Marcus that were influenced by sales associates reaching to customers who bought something where they were not in the store. So this lady calling you saying, "Did you enjoy the jacket? Yeah. By the way, there is a great shirt with it," and you saying, "Yes, can you send me the shirt?"
Yeah.
The shirt.
Well, I also remember the sales associate was even matching, shirts with the jacket and everything, which is not something you experience, every day. So 2023 was a busy year for you guys. Now I know you're not public, but can you tell us anything about, Milestones last year, your performance?
So it was a busy year. It was a year of, I would say, normalization. So what we saw post-COVID is increased pent-up demand. And in last year, we ran up to 19, but saw some normalization. Now, in the first 6 months of the year, we ran double digit up to 19, but negative to the prior year. When we entered the third quarter, which is our first fiscal year, we saw a slowdown across all elements of our business. What's been encouraging is that in the holidays, early indicators show that we were low single digit negative to the prior year, relatively flat in stores, and up with our top customers, which is really where we want to be, as growing with the top customers, the top brands. Now, we live in a world of luxury, and luxury is experiencing a slowdown, but as I mentioned, I see it more as a normalization because we're still up to 19, and it is promotional. And I think these are the two elements of this environment. So optimistic or cautiously optimistic about consumer demand, and clearly seeing the customer who's buying through the experience growing, feeling the pressure on margin from the promotions.
Now, Geoffroy, when I was living in New York, I'm now down here in Florida, we used to have a Neiman Marcus in Palm Beach, but not now. But I was in New York, and there's Bergdorf Goodman, which is part of Neiman Marcus Group. Yep. It was sort of the second best I could get. I'm a Neiman Marcus guy, so I wanted Neiman Marcus. I'm glad it's there now. But tell us how do you look at those two brands, because they're similar, but explain to me what are the differences?
Well, they have two different identities from where they came from,
yeah.
But they're very related, that they care about customer service. They allow you to shop in an integrated manner online and offline, and the sales associate is key in the model. And the other thing is that we buy our own inventory with conviction. We don't do marketplace and just have an MSI. So the business model is similar, but the positioning is slightly different. You have at Bergdorf a very iconic building with an iconic brand. The brand is bigger than the business, and it attracts customers from all over the world. You have the Neiman Marcus brand that is across the country, that is deeply rooted in every community that they are present. There's 36 stores. And I think they serve different customers, and at the same time, there's a joint loyalty program. Oh. There's the ability, if we want, to share inventory. So there's a lot of ways for the business to support each other, but it is important in my mind that they keep a distinct identity and a different way to engage with customers.
That's really interesting. Can we talk about your growth strategy? So, I just mentioned, of course, the Hudson Yards, and that's a few years ago now, I guess, in Manhattan. Where else are you looking to grow over the next couple of years?
So the growth strategies for us is very much around growing the share of wallet with customers. So it's not about an expansion of number of stores. We think that with the 36 Neiman Marcus stores we have and the 2 Bergdorf stores we have in New York, that's the right network, plus or minus 1 store. So we'll always revisit that. But I think the key business we have is we're not a business of transaction. We're a business of relationship. We demonstrated that 2% of our customers drive 40% of our revenue. These customers spend $27,000 a year with us, and we retain more than 90%. And so the strategy is to recruit more customers who have the potential over their lifetime to spend more, and then migrate them so that ultimately we have more of those customers who spend at the upper end. And it's really getting deeper in the share of wallet. And we do that by getting to know you. And the more we know you, the more we can service you, and hopefully the more loyal you are with us.
Geoffroy, another personal question, I guess, if I can, since I have you here. So this place is like a candy store, Place Vendôme, Charvet in Paris. You are one of the very few places that I can think of that actually has Charvet available. How do you, is that a special thing? Is it a privilege to be able to carry that?
It is a privilege. There's a few brands that have very limited distribution and entrust us to be their representation. Charvet is an example. Schiaparelli, which is a beautiful luxury house on Place Vendôme, is also the first point of distribution is there. The next 3 points of distribution are with us, and they only have 5 points in the world.
Wow.
And so it is a privilege for us to be entrusted by that. I think it also speaks to what it means for the brand to be associated with us and have us give access to the luxury customer in the US.
Great. So how does e-commerce fit into all this? I visited both of your websites, but I was just talking to my colleagues before you came in, and I said, I really like to try clothes on. I mean, I know you can send them back if they don't fit, but how do you look at e-commerce? Is it a big growth driver for you, or do most of your customers like to go in like I do?
So we do about 30% of our revenue online, and the rest in stores. 28% of the total is that remote selling. So 50% of our sales are digital, but 70% of them are engaged with the sales associates. I think first what's really important is the notion of that integrated retail. Online is important. It's a way for you to see the product before you come. It's a way for you to buy it if you know what you want.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're always inviting the customer to come to the store, because we are able to provide services such as tailoring or experiences such as our restaurants. We had 300,000 customers go in our restaurants during the holidays. That's an experience you can have in the stores. And so our view is you as a customer will shop wherever you want, but if we can get you in a store and experience the full level of service and experience, that is always the better thing for us.
One more personal thing here I got to bring up, and this is obviously going to be positive. So a little secret that I have when I'm in New York and I want to go somewhere quiet, I go to Bergdorf Goodman, and there's a bar there where I can hang out and work on my laptop and do a little shopping. Is that, to tell me the thinking behind that? I mean, it seems brilliant. I don't know why there aren't more of these. I mean, I think that there are, Barney's might have had that too. But tell me about that.
You need to think about us as a place to sell products or buy products, but it's also a place where you have service and experience, and the experiences go with restaurants. So we have more than 40 restaurants. We have about 25 capsules, bars or cafes, and that's really part of how we engage with customers. We see that customers who do what you do come and spend more time with us. They get really infused and enamored with our brand, and that drives huge loyalty. And so that's one part of the things we do. We are renovating a lot of our restaurants. A lot of restaurants are very known for holidays, so we get peak traffics there. And I think it's important that today people want to buy product, but more importantly, they want to have an experience around the buying. And that's even more true from the younger generation than I would say from the older generation.
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, I was sitting there, on my laptop having a drink, and, these Keaton jackets in the background just calling my name. So, I mean, I was very tempted.
It is very nicely located next to the Keaton.
Now, of course, I mentioned the Dallas store. Is that, do you have a store that you consider your flagship, or, because that's the original location, yes. I believe.
So the Dallas store is the original location. It's deep to our heart, and it's very special. It caters to a clientele that really loves us. I think we love all our stores. Our top 10 stores are really a significant part of our business, and we are investing heavily in our stores. So we are investing about $200 million in our stores. It will cover improvement and renovation of about 5 of our top stores and a third of our fleet. And it's really important to keep that notion of how do we make the store more engaging and how do we make them more productive? Because post-COVID, what we see is that some categories like shoes, handbags are significantly bigger, so we need to give it more space.
Makes sense. Now, just final question if I can, Geoffroy. So obviously fashions change, colors, designs, but is there, what is there in the future of luxury retail? Are things changing? I mean, because I think of, my experience going to Neiman Marcus is very similar to how it was 20 years ago. It's the same, great customer care, like we talked about the phone call, but what's on the horizon? Are things evolving or changing?
I think what's evolving is, I think it's probably two things for us. One is making sure that the experience in the store is really theatrical, and that when you go to the store, not only do you find a product, you find a service, but you have a real experience. The brands are working with us on that, and we do every year about 15 activations where a brand takes over a store, creates a product, created a beach in our store in 3,000 square feet, and then develop unique products that you can't find anywhere in the world. And so that to me is a very important part, is giving you a reason to go and something that you can't find or experience somewhere else. The other part is the leverage of technology and data. Technology to reach you, so that sales associate who reaches you today would reach you with a look that is a full outfit by text or by email and giving you an engagement that is digital. And then we leverage data that the algorithm recommends those look to the sales associate. The sales associate can choose what's right for you and sending it to you. And so we're trying to make it very personal physically, but also personal remotely, but always powered by data so that the sales associate can scale more of their outreach.
All right, Geoffroy, that was perfect. I really enjoyed this. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
I'm John Jannarone, Editor-in-Chief of Exec Edge, signing off from the ICR 2024 conference here in Orlando, Florida.